Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the Salamanders as we get into their Successor chapters. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. If you guys have any suggestions for other topics of Warhammer 40K, please comment down below. And don't forget to hit the little bell notification icon to stay updated to see if we did create a video for you. And if you enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. But with that said, let's get into all the Successor chapters of the Salamanders. The Salamanders are a loyalist, first founding Space Marine chapter, bearing the gene seed of the Primarch Vulcan. Alone amongst all of the other chapters, the Salamanders are unusually concerned with civilian life, believing that one of the chapter's most important duties is to protect the lives of the Imperium of man's innocent subjects, whenever and wherever possible. Since the beginning, the Salamanders have had a preference for close-range weapons, using Melta and Flamers to burn through whole swaths of infantry troops and to smash armored foes with a fiery rage. The Salamanders also have an intimate knowledge of the ways of metal and fire, forging great relics and powerful artificer items. They have almost always had more tech marines than a normal Astarte chapter. Because each Salamander battle brother can completely repair, service, and modify their own arms, power armor, and war gear, the tech marines of the Salamanders are free to craft intricate and powerful items of incredible workmanship and advanced technology. This is most evident in the unusual number of Terminators in their force, as well as a great portion of master-crafted weaponry. Their technological resources are also supplemented by regular trade with the Adeptus Mechanicus, made possible by Nocturne's abundant mineral resources. A Salamander's physical appearance is also very striking, most likely brought about by a combination of phenotypical effects created by a biochemical interplay of their gene seed and the erratic, gravitational, and radioactive forces of Nocturne, and of course the unique genetics of the human population that has evolved to survive there. These factors have contributed to a peculiar reaction of the Astartes' melanchrome gene seed organ, resulting in an individual battle brother's skin becoming obsidian black and their eyes blazing with a burning red glow. This combination of effects gives the Salamanders an almost demonic look, an irony considering that the Sons of Vulcan are one of the most humanitarian chapters of the Adeptus Astartes. Another one of the most defining features of the Salamanders chapter is their emphasis on endurance and self-sacrifice. Throughout Imperial history, the chapter has been brought frighteningly close to extinction, but has proven extremely stubborn. While it is believed that the chapter did not sire any immediate successors due to the painful fact that their numbers were severely depleted by the events of the Dropsite Massacre, that is not to say that the chapter was unable to eventually sire successor chapters in the subsequent foundings. 2 chapters are thought to be their successors. The Storm Giants are a loyalist Space Marine chapter, rumored to be a successor chapter of the Salamanders of Nocturne. Little is known of the chapter's origin. The oldest Imperial records that do exist point to the chapter being formed sometime after the second founding. Each battle brother of the Storm Giants is a massive warrior, even by the standards of the Adeptus Astarte, a trait shared with their potential parent chapter. On the battlefield, the Storm Giants don their unique tan power armor, their stylized red thunderbolt pointing upward and centered on a field of tan. While it is unknown if all the Storm Giant battle brothers developed the ebony skin unique to the mutation found on the Salamander's melanchrome gene seed organ, it is known that the majority of the warriors that made it onto the pages of Imperial history share this mutation. Scholars have also found similarities in their tactical tendencies, preferring close-range firefights above other combat doctrines. This was showcased during the so-called Second Purging of Lastrati. The Storm Giants' first company and several tactical squads and Vindicators were sent to support Marshal Helfhard and the Black Templars as they purged the planet upon discovering a purity cult called the Divine Army, which had turned to blood rituals in the worship of the blood god Khorne. The chapter also dedicated 5 companies in the support of the Imperial Defenders during the Third War for Armageddon. Another potential successor chapter of the Salamanders are the Black Dragons. The Black Dragons is a loyalist Space Marine chapter thought to be a successor chapter of the Salamanders. It was censured by the Inquisition due to the mutation of the chapter's gene seed, which caused certain Astartes of the chapter to develop blade-like overgrowths of bone on the head and forearm. Little is known of the Black Dragons in official Imperial records, but they have been noted in several classified resources as belonging to the 21st Founding, also known as the Cursed Founding. The chapter was founded just prior to the Age of Apostasy, a time of civil warfare and bloodshed on a galactic scale, the like of which has not been seen since the dark days of the Horus Heresy. The Imperium was nearly destroyed during this time by the whims of the insane and renegade High Lord Goj Vandire. During the 21st Founding, the Tech Priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus sought to improve the character of Astarte gene seed by perfecting and removing their existing identified deficiencies through various methods of bioengineering. The result was a founding of a series of Astarte chapters who have a long history of being plagued with rampant mutation and chaos corruption. None can tell the number of Cursed Founding chapters that are in existence, as all records of their creation have been expunged from Imperial archives. It did not take long for the flaws inherited in the Black Dragons to be altered and manifest themselves. One of the many gene seed zygotes Black Dragon neophytes are implanted with is the osmodula. This small organ has a complex function within the body of a space marine. It monitors and secretes hormones affecting epiphyseal fusion and ossification of the skeleton, while engineered hormones encourage the forming of bones to absorb certain base chemicals administered in the Astartes diet. 2 Terran years following the implantation, the neophyte's long bones will have strengthened considerably, and there will be a general increase in the overall size of the recipient skeleton. Extreme ossification of the chest cavity, caused by growth of ribs forming a solid mass of interlaced bone plates, provide a space marine with an armored layer to protect their secondary heart and lungs. But the osmodula zygote of the Black Dragons functions in an abnormal way, as the result of a mutation of its DNA, causing the growth of bony crest on the head and a blade-like protuberance from the forearm and elbow. Like the Death Company of the Blood Angels, the Black Dragon warriors afflicted with such a mutation form into a separate fighting unit within the chapter. Known as the Dragon Claws, they sharpen their additional protrusions to a killing edge and sheath them in adamantium to turn them into deadly close combat melee weapons. The mandible bone and teeth of a Black Dragon Astarte are also unusual, as their canines grow overlong and become pronounced like fangs. Their mouth, bone inside, and lips are usually black in coloration. So too their tongues. They're tapered to a sharp point like a dagger. This level of mutation strains the tolerance of the Inquisition, and there are many record instances of a Space Marine chapter refusing to fight alongside the Black Dragons. Some chapters, such as the Marines Malevolent, would hunt down and execute what they regarded as deviations from the Emperor's genetic design, a template that had regrettably been diluted over the millennia since its initial perfecting. None now exist who could restore it, and so there were those amongst the Adeptus Astarte regarded as cursed. Although some chapters did not count themselves amongst these Puritans, there were still some of whom the presence of such an obvious mutant element amongst their ranks was not only distasteful, but also dangerous. It has been rumored that the Black Dragon's apothecaries deliberately encourage the mutation's growth, which results in rampant ossification growth, going so far as to knowingly implant genetically aberrant gene seed zygotes into some neophytes. This is exceptionally dangerous, and the practice is strictly forbidden by Imperial Edict, but old traditions die hard, as the sheer ferociousness of the Dragon Claws is much valued by the Black Dragon's chapter masters. Every chapter of the Adeptus Astartes is required to send 5% of its gene seed genetic material to the Adeptus Mechanicus on Mars. This tithe serves 2 purposes, enabling the Adeptus Mechanicus to monitor the genetic health of each Space Marine chapter, and storing Adeptus Astarte gene seed with the purpose of founding new chapters as needed by the Imperium. The Adeptus Mechanicus, on several occasions, has threatened the Black Dragons with military action unless it complies with this decree, and even when the chapter has submitted genetic data, its veracity has often been considered suspect, as each sample provided has passed the most stringent genetic purity checks without fail. Without being able to prove anything, many Mechanicus adepts believe that the Black Dragons submit genetic material culled from other, more pure sources. How this can be possible is unknown, and the Adeptus Mechanicus is eager to fully investigate the medical practices within the Black Dragon's chapter. The Black Dragon Battle Brothers are known to display a variety of tattoos and scars on their arms, which hint at a less than healthy background, which these warriors may have had before their indoctrination into the Adeptus Astartes. The terrifying mutations that their enhancements have racked on their bodies have become a badge of honor for most of these Space Marines, and they now modify their armor to allow them to use their retractable blades in combat. The Black Dragons primarily wear black power armor, and their chapter badge is a profile of a white stylized dragon head facing forward, centered on a field of black. The genetic mutations of the Black Dragons has not only drawn the negative attention of the Inquisition, but also of Xeno races. The homunculi of the Hex Coven learned of the Black Dragon's strange mutation. They struck a bargain with the piratical Duke Sliscus, and they attacked the chapter as it was purging the Denarian system of the monsters that had spilled into Imperial space. A vicious hit-and-run war erupted across the space lanes, fought within the Adeptus Astartes warships and without. Though the resulting war cost the Duke several of its prized starships, the Covenants that boarded the cavernous Imperial flagship captured a dozen of the most mutated Black Dragons in the chapter and brought them back to Camarah. Over the course of an agonizing 3 Terran-year period, during which no fewer than 8 breakout attempts were thwarted, the Hex homunculi took turns experimenting upon the slab-bound Space Marines. Soon enough, they had isolated and synthesized the curse lurking in the Black Dragon's genetic pattern. The resulting virus was distilled, weaponized, and in one particularly memorable experiment, reintroduced it to its host in a concentrated form. The twisted bone dragon that hatched from the unlucky donor's flesh was hung over the Coven's Chamber of Whispers. With the introduction of the Primaris founding, the genetic flaw within the Black Dragons has been theoretically cured, but reports of Primaris battle brothers clad in black armor and wielding strange retractable blade weapons has been reported. It might be that the chapter has managed to reintroduce the genetic virus into the Primaris Marines, giving rise to a whole new generation of Primaris Dragon Claws. And those were 40 facts on the successor chapters of the Salamanders. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to share it with your friends and thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. It's just $1 a month. If you can't support us on Patreon, liking, commenting, and sharing it really helps out the channel. So thank you ahead of time. Now, if you guys have any suggestions for other First Founding Legions that you guys would like us to do their successor chapters, please comment down in the comment section below. We're going to try to do all of them, even the Smurfs. It's just going to take us a while for certain chapters, first Founding chapters. We have started on the Traitors, so we have the Thousand Suns out there, and then we also have the Plague Marines. I forget what the name of the Plague Marines main chapter is called. Mortarion's guys. I can't remember. Comment down in the comment section below. Remind me what they're called. But yeah, check out that 40 facts video. Don't forget we have a giveaway right now. If you check out our 40 facts on the horrible realities of an Imperial assassin, you can win an assassin. So check that out before it goes away. Thanks for everything, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.